Guys, I'm back with, I believe, a Mr. Nightmare video. Yes, so this one is 5 nightmare-inducing sleep paralysis stories. So I've never had sleep... Burp me. I've never had sleep paralysis or anything like that. I do not want to experience it. In a way, I kind of want to, just to kind of like see what it feels like, but that's terrifying, obviously. It's like, why the hell would you want to experience it? You know what I mean? But sleep paralysis stories. This ought to be interesting because I never had one, and it's like, and it's cool to know how it actually happens or what can happen during it. So like, and plus it is Mr. Nightmare. Any Mr. Nightmare video is good, to be honest. So, but yeah, without further ado, let's get into this video.
Has anyone ever had sleep paralysis before?
No.
I tell you, it's one of the strangest, most fascinating, and horrifying things that you could experience. It's the feeling of being unable to move upon awakening. Your senses and awareness are intact, but you still feel as though you're in this half-asleep, half-awake state. I'd heard stories of this long before it happened to me. I've only experienced it once. I was in college. I was going through an incredibly tough time in my life. I was insanely stressed during finals week. I wasn't getting much sleep. It must have been the night before my last final. I went to bed late because I stayed up all night studying for bio. I don't remember at what point I decided to finally call it. I just remember it all becoming a blur, then blackness. Next thing I remember, I was in my room, in my bed, but there was this weird haziness in my awareness. Like I was awake, but I felt weaker. When I tried to move, I couldn't. I could only move my eyes to look around the dark room. At one point, when I guess I was looking to one side of the room, I looked back to the center, and there was this woman standing dead center in the room, facing the bed. She was wearing this black dress and holding some long object. I wanted to call out, "Mom?" but my paralysis prevented it. I couldn't say anything. The woman came closer to me until she knelt down and touched my forehead. And I could feel it. She got eye to eye with me, and I could see my mother's face. I tried to say "Mom" again, desperately, but I was stuck in my own body. She stood back up and walked to the doorway before disappearing into the house. I lay there, unable to move, maybe another 10 to 20 seconds before my vision suddenly became more clear. I was able to think more clearly as well. I was able to sit up. I jumped out of the bed, screaming "Mom" over and over. I ran to the bedroom hallway, yelling her name. A door opened down the hall, and someone came to hug me. But it wasn't my mom. It was my dad, telling me he misses her too. My mom died 3 weeks before this happened.
Oh. That's scary. Oh my god.
You know what I love about dreams? How vague and how bizarre they can be. You feel like you're in this separate world where things can just make no sense.
Right?
Now what about when that unearthliness transcends into the quote-unquote real world? You'll see what I mean in a minute. I was in REM sleep having this bizarre nightmare about being followed by some weird creature in the middle of the woods. The dream became fuzzy though, and I kind of woke up from it. I say kind of, because while I was out of the dream and back in my bed, I couldn't move a muscle in my body. I started hearing this faint, weird noise. It was this indescribable, robotic, yet alive type sound. It started light and soft, and it repeated every 3 seconds. I noticed it was getting slightly louder every time. I felt like the sound was getting closer. It got so unbearably loud in my head, I just wanted to scream, but I couldn't. Then my eyes locked onto the closet door, specifically the crack in the closet door, which I never leave open, ever. There was this distorted face of a man looking between the crack, with this unhumanly large open-mouthed smile, and every time I heard the noise, it seemed as if the closet and the face were getting closer, until the closet door slammed shut, and everything went silent. I regained control of my body shortly after that, and the first thing I did, even though I was 24 years old, was run to my parents' room to get my dad to check the closet with me. There was nothing in the closet though, or the rest of my room. My dad seemed pretty confident that what I just experienced was sleep paralysis, and that he had experienced it once as well. didn't make me feel any less disturbed about what I just went through.
No. I can't imagine just like being in bed not being able to move. I can't imagine that at all.
Many years ago, I had a sleep paralysis experience. I knew there was a thing in my closet, something really evil, but I also knew I was dreaming and I should face my fear. I tried not to look directly at the closet door, but if I moved my eyes, my head would turn away. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't look directly at it. Then I woke up in a cold sweat. At first I felt really relieved that it was over, but very shortly I realized it wasn't a dream, and there was really something in the closet. I was laying on my back and couldn't move. I didn't really hear it, but I could kind of feel the sickening laughter wash over me in waves, emanating from the closet. All of a sudden the thing throws a human head at me and it lands on my chest face up. It was this girl I knew in high school. Up to this point I was kind of holding it together, terrified but not panicked.
So a girl from high school in her
bed. I lose it now. I can't even scream. All I could do is make these grunting sounds and moaning noises. I'm wriggling and straining, trying to rock from side to side to get it off me, but I can't move. This seemed to last maybe another minute or two, and then I really woke up. It was so traumatic that for weeks I would be scared when I woke up that I wasn't actually awake, and something horrible could happen at any second. It still makes my skin crawl when I think about that laugh. The thing is, I never heard of sleep paralysis or night terrors at that point in my life.
Oh, so
I thought I was losing my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some stuff, I have some comments in the end of this video, some like questions for those of you who have experienced it, so stay tuned.
I've suffered sleep paralysis a total of 3 times in my life. The first 2 times, it just consisted of me waking up not being able to move my body. The third time was much different though. I had woken up very early morning, probably like between 5 and 6 a.m., when the sun was just starting to come up. There was light in the room, but barely any. I tried to move, but I had that unfortunately familiar feeling of paralysis, helplessness. My eyes fixated on the wall. There was nothing I could do. Then suddenly, I heard heavy footsteps coming up the stairs of my bedroom. It was my brother, followed by my sister, dad, and mom. They were all sobbing hysterically, and they all seemed to be at least a foot taller. It was unnerving. The 4 of them approached my bed, then stopped at the bedside, towering over me, all 4 of them crying. I couldn't move. I wanted to cry for help or just yell at them to stop because they were scaring me. Their heights, they looked like they were near to hitting the ceiling. Then, just as quickly as they entered, all 4 of them turned and walked back down the stairs. I could move again, and so I ran down the stairs to follow them, but they weren't in the outside area. I went to each of their rooms one at a time. All 4 of them were fast asleep. My heart was racing because the most surreal, unnerving thing just happened to me. I had to lean on the wall to gather my thoughts for a second, breathing heavily. Falling back asleep was futile the rest of the night. I lay awake until the sun was fully up. A few days later, I was struck by a speeding car when crossing the road with friends and ended up with 3 broken bones and a fractured thigh bone. I was hospitalized for a week, and at one point, all 4 of my family members stood next to my hospital bed, looking down at me, my mom being emotional and crying.
Yo.
It was almost the same image from my sleep paralysis.
Oh my god, that's
I'm
so
not
creepy.
superstitious at all, but if I were, I would 100% believe that dream was some kind of sign, or some kind of prediction of the future. In fact, I just got chills writing that last sentence, thinking about it.
That was honestly scary. Because you basically have like a little preview of what's to happen, you know? What's so
There was
scary
this one
about it.
time I was out late drinking with friends. It was some point in the summer of 2016. We were kind of just walking around town and then around the neighborhood when one of my friends spotted someone hiding in a bush. He pointed and said, "Look," and we all walked a little closer to get a better look. We could see what he was talking about, but just barely. It was bizarre, like someone hiding in this bush in front of this house. When we got too close, apparently, this weird, off-putting sound started coming from the bush. So we all screamed and laughed and ran away. We screamed because it was scary, but laughed because at the same time it was bizarrely funny. And there were a lot of us, so Anyway,
Funny
we
my
walked
ass.
back to our houses respectively, assuming whoever was in that bush was just messing with people. I fell asleep pretty easily that night since I was drunk, but next thing I remember was waking up to the near pitch blackness of my room. I couldn't look at the clock to see what time it was because I literally couldn't move. I was in a sleep paralysis state. I looked around the room with my eyes only and started to hear a familiar noise. The noise we heard coming from that bush.
Yo.
Then I looked straight in front of me, at the foot of my bed, and what I saw was pure nightmare fuel.
Oh, frick.
It was what appeared to be this floating, grotesque, horrific head of a demonic ghost-like thing. As it got closer to me, I realized it wasn't floating. There was a body, but its body blended in with the blackness of the room. Its mouth hung open, and it just kept making the familiar noise from the bush. It got mere inches from my face before it suddenly just faded away, and I was able to let out a scream and move my body. I sat in my bed, panting and heart racing. I flipped on the lamp and checked around my bed, but that demonic thing was gone. What I just experienced seemed so real, like I was awake for it. It wasn't a dream. I told my parents about it the next day, and they agreed with me that it was sleep paralysis, though they had never heard of anyone seeing freaky shit like that before.
That's insane, especially that second last story, the fourth one. Because like I can't even imagine like not being able to like, this is what I was saying before. I can't imagine laying right here in my bed, waking up, because like normally this is like the first thing I do. I wake up and I look at my watch to see what time it is. Very first thing. And then I see how much sleep I've gotten, because like recently I've been trying to go to bed earlier and wake up earlier. So it's just been a habit to kind of be like, what time is it? Is it 9 a.m. yet so I can get up yet? No, it's 2. Okay, go back to bed. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, I can't imagine, like the point of me saying that is like I cannot even imagine me waking up not being able to move myself. Like I cannot imagine that at all. Because that's what I do like right away. Like I kind of stretch and I'm kind of like, what's going on, you know? So like my question to everyone that has had a sleep paralysis experience, so like if you guys know even, because like I don't know the science behind it exactly, because like to me it basically sounds like a dream. In a way it's like you're half awake and half asleep, because like you're basically in a dream-like state, because like you're seeing things which obviously aren't there. So that's my question. In sleep paralysis, like does that just simply mean that you can't move when you're awake, or you seem awake at least? Because I don't even understand like how that would even happen, because like normally you go to bed, how does that even like occur to you? You know, like how does sleep paralysis even happen? That's my main question. Like how is your body just unable to like move? Like how are you just unable to move yourself? Like I don't understand that. Like I seriously don't understand, and I actually want to know, because that's actually really like interesting to me. Like how the hell that works. Like I don't even understand. Like just waking up and then you can't move at all. Like that's fucking terrifying and yet really fascinating to me. And not that I want to experience it, knock on wood, but like I don't know. Like do you always kind of see like figures? Do you always kind of like because again, like sleep paralysis is basically like paralysis when you're asleep, because it's called sleep paralysis. So in a way it makes me think you're still asleep, and then when you finally wake up you're able to move. So in a way I feel like you're trying to, I feel like it may be like this actually. So like in your dream, I feel like you're dreaming, and then in your dream you can't move. Like you're basically having a dream of you awake in your bed, and then of you not being able to move. This is what I think. And then you see some kind of terrifying creature, and then you can't move, but then in real life you actually can. You're just not actually awake yet. And then once the figure's gone, and then after the sleep paralysis is gone in your dream, I feel like that's when you wake up and being able to move, because like there's no way you could just be paralyzed in your sleep for no reason. You know, like there would have to be some kind of reason for that. Like, you know what I mean? That's just my opinion. So I feel like you're totally dreaming, and I feel like what you're experiencing is a dream, but it seems like it's real because like dreams seem real, right? And because a dream feels so real, you're basically having a dream of you having sleep paralysis, which makes you think you actually have sleep. Which actually makes you think that you're paralyzed in your actual sleep, like when you're actually, or like, which makes you actually think that you're paralyzed when you're not, you know what I mean? I don't know if any of that made sense, but that's just my kind of science behind it. I just kind of came up with that theory now. Because like for me, like dreams have always fascinated me. Like I've had some really weird dreams. And I learned in class they always have dreams. Like everybody has dreams. I think you dream every single night and you just don't remember them. And it's just crazy to think that like some dreams, like especially the fourth one, that actually shook me. Like you're basically having a dream of people around you crying, 3 days later you're in a car accident or you're in some kind of accident, and then people all around you crying, and it's like, what the fuck, I just experienced this, you know what I mean? So in a way, that definitely does make me think it's a big coincidence, and or it's like a little like vision, kind of like Raven. So like it's kind of like a vision into the future, and you kind of see what's about to happen before it happens, you know what I mean? It's not that you would know exactly what happens, like obviously with Raven you actually get visions and you actually see what happens, but then like with this you just kind of experience something, and then you obviously don't think much of it until it happens again, and then you think back and you're like, whoa, I just experienced that like 3 days ago, so it's kind of like, why did I just have like a little vision into the future, you know what I mean? So I'm like, if that was actually true, that's really freaky. Again, sleep paralysis just like really confuses me, doesn't really make any sense to me, so again, my own explanation, even though I've never had it, I feel like, until I experience it, I feel like I can't really say what it is, but this is just my take on it, or like the science behind it. You're just dreaming that you're in your bed and not being able to move, and then you're trying to move in your dream but you can't, and then you wake up finally, and then you're like because like you're dreaming. It's kind of like you have like a nightmare sleep paralysis type thing, like a nightmare of sleep paralysis, but like you're not actually having it, it's just a dream that you're having it, and then it actually feels like you're having it. Does that make sense? Yes, no? Okay. So please, if you guys stuck till the end of this video, which I know most of you guys do not, which I don't either, so I don't blame you. Like the second our reaction's over, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave now. But please, if you guys are still here, that's great for you loyal people, because I'm not one of those loyal people. I'm saying that right now. I'm not gonna lie. So just let me know what you guys thought of like my theory, and what you guys have experienced in your sleep paralysis, if you guys have had it or not, you know. But just let me know, because I'm really curious, and I'm probably gonna like I do some research on it afterward, just to kind of like see how that works, you know what I mean? Or like I would love to like see it being filmed, like if you're filming yourself sleeping and then like you actually kind of have it, like I don't know. Is it just me that kind of like wants to see a video of someone having sleep paralysis, just so I can see like what's actually going on? Because like, are your eyes actually open? Because like, you know, like I can't imagine myself not being able to move with some like monster in my room. I don't know. Okay, that's gonna be it for this little rant here, but that's my take on it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's just my take on it, not having experienced it. Knock on wood. Again, maybe I have, I just don't know. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure you would know if it's that traumatizing. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.